How I didn't know you was backing out the ghost. Anyways, good day, chaps. How's you doing? Yesterday I got my telewacker polished. um, I'm sorry for the. I mean, I don't think nobody really cares if I post here and there, but I got a little fan base now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get big headed, or anything, but I have a small fan base, over 200 people, mainly from shorts. But hey, people subscribe. People subscribe. You know exactly. But I want to get on here, keep it small, short, and simple. Okay. So, first thing we gotta shut down is that I'm doing this for strictly attention. That is 100% correct. I'm playing. No, it's for me being informational, me making music, and me wanting to be international through the whole world. But I had a small glimpse in the most darkest areas of the world. Like a small glimpse back into it. And I had a horrible, I guess it was a dream. I'm finally sleeping. I'm sleeping finally, but I think that's because I just got the room super duper cold and I'm not eating as well. I lost a lot of weight. Look at my pants, bro. Probably don't got no hips, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're being distracted. Every face has a story that is untold. By a person's face, you can tell what they went through. My face, you can't really tell, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell I went through anything, you know what I'm saying? But every face has an untold story that you will be it won't really be seen until it is told to you or you experience the way they react through certain situations. There's an unhealthy amount of people trying to respond more to understanding, and that goes for me too. And I think that's only in the area when I see somebody that I care for, and then when I see them explode on me, I don't even get angry. I just understand because deep down I know I'm a dog shit person, and I won't even blame that on so-called trauma or me being here or there or the couch here. I won't blame it on none of that. It's just me. I won't say I'm a product of my environment and that's the reason I act the way I act. Don't mean because you got a shitty childhood or you done bad, you just act to an asshole towards others. I don't act an asshole, but I feel like I have been selfish in a certain degree when it comes to life. And I don't shut down, and I don't avoid things. It's just I'd rather not talk about it because even when I do talk about it, there's no ground to cover when you talk about it. It's like talking about your cousin getting killed. My cousin get killed. We talk about it. What the fuck is to talk about? He's gone. Husk up his body. He's gone. Seeing that shit, everybody wants to be a gangbanger or a street nigga here and there and sell drugs. That's not my body. That would never be my body. I'm a good child, just with bad habits. And we've been writing more lyrics down. I want to, clarify. We've been writing more lyrics down, so that's pretty good. What else? We've been cultivating a so-called code, But I think once we hit 1,000, I hope it doesn't take long. I hope I don't hit a plateau and I just fade away from relevancy because I just stop posting. I stop making music. Right? I want to get so big where people are worrying about the next post. They're not even worrying about when I'm coming back. They're worrying about if I'm gonna drop music again. On some Frank Ocean shit. Not no Playboy Cardi. On some Frank Ocean shit. That type of cult fan base. But the music is good, and the fan base is good. Not just that the music it was good at a certain time and place, but now it's just mediocre, and my fan base is still pulling through. God damn it. Those dogs don't like people that have melanated skin. Honestly, they don't. But this for another 20 minutes or so. So just get used to the background noise, gang. I should have brought my headphones. But this won't. I won't let this distract us. Bruh, his bark sound pre-recorded. Anyway, get. To get back what I was talking about with the loss of one of my cousins, we ain't gonna be sappy about it. You know, wrong place, wrong time, trying to be something he wasn't, you know. But I think, like, seeing that, I think seeing it firsthand, I think it corrupts the mind in a certain way that it makes you not unavailable, but hard to really understand the human psyche in a way that's not corrupted. And I think that's what's happened to some of my relatives that went to the military. Seeing people die right in front of you tends to corrupt the mind in a certain degree. But I didn't tell anybody that I saw it, you know. Feet away. No, you know, it's just you know, there's no reason to be sappy, you know. No reason to be sappy. I love you all, guys, you know. I used to be very stubborn, you know, bullheaded when it came to the numbers, because every time I would, like, lose a subscriber, the views would go down. I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? And then they'll show me the day where somebody unsubscribed, go to the video, I'll be like, what did I say in this video was wrong? You know, but now it gets to a point where it's not that I don't care. I tend to, you know, just push through. Because if you don't push through, there's no point in going. I wanted to start, you know, YouTube videos pretty early on in my life, but I feel like it was too cliche and corny to do. Like, talking to a camera by yourself, it was pretty hard. But, you know, I'm getting more comfortable here and there. Retaliation is not the best action. I might just take a seat, to be honest. Self-preservation. Like, God damn it, bro. Like, hey, bro. can't stand these racist ass dogs, right? You know, dogs will be dogs. But back to what we was talking about. Self-preservation can be an unjust thing, but a positive thing when it comes to things that you don't know. Right? In society, not the other ones. In society, in social norms, morale is the only thing that keeps us from being complete animals in our primal state. The most primitive thing that we still have is fighting. That we still use to a day-to-day basis that has evolved and not diminished in any type of way or fashion in the world that we have cultivated today. It's fighting. Fighting is another world or another language that is more communicated better through words. No matter how intelligent or how so-called ignorant or idiotic you are, fighting is the best defactor and I guess diminutor? No, it wouldn't be diminutor. It would be the best deterrent for any type of conflict. Using your words is, overshadowing in many of years because we have cultivated a area of where communication is way better than physical altercations, where that creates a misconnect in some fashion or another. Not saying you should just box somebody in their shit every time you disagree with them, but sometimes a scuffle or a quick 30 will be so-called prevalent for, I guess, younger minds. Cause don't be, I used to scruff like a motherfucker. I know I seem like a pretty boy, but I used to scruffle back when I was younger. I was a grimy fighter. Grimy motherfucker. I was a lie to you. I used to dig my fucking thumb in niggas' ribs and shit. Like, I was like grimy motherfucker. I used to bite all type of shit. But now the misconnect when it comes to communication and fighting, I tend to see that fighting is not only encouraged into a so-called higher intellect level, as in using weapons of mass destruction, as in talks and weapons, ammunition, fire, instead of using your fisticuffs. It's also been upgraded into a valid statement, as I see, where war is still a thing in hundreds and hundreds of centuries. War is still a thing. You would think that since we evolved to another higher being of consciousness, you think war would be diminished over time. But is this a primal thing that you just can't get out of our DNA? Our genotype, per se. Just like procreating, sex. That's something you just can't leave. It's a primitive thing that we still hold to this day. It's so primitive that it's almost a derogatory thing when it's used in the incorrect manner. You see how prevalent it is during high school years. Like, right? Everybody talking about losing their V card, yada yada yada. I wasn't worrying about no goddamn, you know what I'm saying? but you see how it builds a foundation of not only non-trustful people, but also a primitive factor that is controlled by not only the mind, but the body. You can see how fighting and sex are the two most primitive things that we've been doing for the longest that has not changed but only evolved. Positions in animal, that's what I call it. The positions have evolved through sex and the animal has evolved through fights. The only thing that has not fully changed is sex and violence. Why do you think sex and violence is so prevalent through all the music? Shit, there's a whole fucking song with a band called Sex and Violence. The most simplistic things that we cannot so-called evolve from. Sex and violence. It's crazy. Everything else can adapt. Our mind, our subconsciousness, us thinking, us being too aware to the point it becomes cringy. But the two things that haven't evolved yet is sex and violence. You know what's also crazy? Even religion has evolved. Religion has evolved so much that there's newer religions popping up almost every day. Languages, math, science, even spiritual things have evolved. But the only thing that haven't fully evolved but only adapted is sex and violence. Why is that? Because it's the two most primitive things that we still connect from. That's it. That's why. It's the two most primitive things. And us having companions like dogs. Ain't that right, Deuce? Ain't that right, my dog? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Two primitive things, right? And what am I exactly trying to say? I am trying to say that not only that we still keep primitive things in our mind, we tend to act higher than what we actually are. I am a being of not only trying to evolve my mind and spirit, but also trying to figure out if mainly the reason we are evolving is to seem something we're not, to fit the facade that we are a higher state of being, we're a higher intelligence than other animals. Because we're still mammals at the end of the day. We're still animals. But since we have a consciousness, since we have a subconscious, so we can think about thought and thought about thinking. Maybe that's why we see ourselves higher than other animals. That's why we eat humans though. Cannibalism, it's legal in some states. Shit, they probably feeding us to us now. Shit. The McNuggets, let me chill out. The McNuggies from McDonald's probably made out the goddamn fucking feces and fetuses, you don't know. But I'm rambling. Let me throw that away. But yeah, we don't truly know. In our primitive states, we used to eat anything that would move that wasn't us. But now we're in a so-called factor of trying to figure out what is the next step to not only evolving, but how to distract ourselves from dying. That's the big everlasting thing, us dying at the end. So we're finding every distraction that can fulfill our mind. And the way I see it, this is my distraction. Trying to figure out what's the next distraction for others. Trying to create art, trying to create beautiful things, trying to create music that could elevate and evoke motion to a way where I am internationally broken. I want to be one of the greats. Don't want to be compared to one of the greats. I want to be one of the greats. I don't want to be like, well, he'll never be this guy. I'm not trying to be that guy. Well, he'll never be him. There's no way he's touching him, right? But you got to think. Sometimes people are so good at the things they do, they don't have to do multiple things to look good. Look at MJ and Prince. Prince did multiple shit, right? MJ did a collective shit just way better than Prince to the point where he was voted. You gotta think. Michael Jackson been doing this since he came out of Coochie. Prince, he makes thought-provoking music just like MJ, but I think the misconnect with MJ and Prince was Prince's ego was too high to adapt to how MJ was. And that's why MJ is a national treasure all across the fucking globe, and Prince is, yeah, he's that guy, but he will always be compared to motherfucking MJ. Just how Kobe cultivated a fan base by copying MJ, and he's always will be compared by MJ, but since he's passed, he has been put on a pedestal to a point where it's a 50-50 of who they pick. And then with that, it's LeBron and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is with rings. LeBron is with longevity. People say MJ won against bums. People say LeBron won against superstars. The comparison will always be who's around you that you have to compete with. Once again, a primal thing. But I'm gonna just sum this video up now because it's already past excuse my language, it's already past like 20 minutes. So I'll catch you in the next video. And I hope you have a good day and stay wise. Yeah. Stay wise, stay fly, and don't get high.